Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Train Sim Classic, aka Railworks. Today we're going to be taking a look at another product from Caledonia Works, the LB&SCR Class H 442 Atlantic type. This will be a bit of a fun one because we never get to take a look at Atlantics from across the sea. There's really not a lot of them. So hopefully we have a little bit of fun. But as with the previous video, the K class, there are a myriad of paint schemes and iterations of this model that are included in the pack that I do not have placed down because the out-of-memory errors are predominant. And as such, this is what I've got, which pretty much represents everything, as well as a special in the back to represent our BR Black, which we will be using. I will be talking about shortly. So up here we've got the gorgeous brown. I love this paint scheme, love the lettering, love the color. Such a nice one. And then we've got one of the many southern green variants. We've got the photographic gray. And then the bullied experimental. What this is, I have no idea. But just FYI, it is something there. Oogie boogie boogie. Let's scroll down. So these locomotives were built and designed for express passenger work by D.E. Marsh. Or they were designed when D.E. Marsh was officially the locomotive superintendent. Built at Brighton Works in 1911 and 1912. The design closely follows that of the GNR C1s. There were a total of 6 produced, and unfortunately all locomotives were scrapped. However, there is a caveat to that, and we will come back to it in a minute. So it's pretty obvious these locomotives are built for speed. It's very rare that an Atlantic type is ever built for anything other than speed. It's just what the design lends itself very nicely to. They're also not powerhouses. You're not going to be pulling a mile-long freight train with these. You're not going to be pulling a mile-long or a heavy passenger train with these. But these do look good at a full sprint. Now up close, obviously the detailing is very nice, with a nicely 3D modeled builder's plate on a lot of them. And nameplate. Paint job looks great. Model looks great. It's too dark to see, so I don't know if the valve gear is actually modeled inside. Now, I don't know what's going on with the works gray here. It's kind of got a little bit of a TV static look to it. A bit odd. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it is, without a doubt, noticeable. I love the lettering here. This is cool. My favorite. I love this paint scheme. Makes me so happy to look at. I'm not gonna lie, this locomotive's a bit reminiscent of what we would see on the Reading Railroad here in the United States. These big old fireboxes, big round fireboxes. Kind of entertaining. Then the southern green, I don't know why the lettering looks so very noticeably blurry on this model compared to all the others. Bit odd, but oh well. Builder's plate looks great. Very nice model. Very nice indeed. Oh, there it is. I was about to say, I feel like I'm missing a whistle on here. Whistle is right up here on top. kind of stuck out on its own. Their brass texturing is very nice. I very like it. Let's move on. Right back here to our operating model. So this is a BR Black example. Now, earlier I had said all examples were scrapped, which is true. However, there is a replica being built from a myriad of parts and such that were left over during the scrapping era. So, H2 Atlantic number 32424, Beachy Head, is under construction at the Bluebell Railway. And as of 2024, the boiler has been tested and the locomotive rolled out, mated with its tender commissioning work prior to service. So, moving along fairly quickly, but it includes parts of like an XB4 tender and the GNR Atlantic boiler. Remember what I said earlier, they follow very closely the design of the GNR Atlantics. Kind of come in to save the day a little bit here, but that's pretty cool. A new / cobbled together example is being built today to represent the class and have an operational 442, which in and of itself is a bit of a unique item. 442s are a very odd sight to see in the operating world, especially in the United States. To my knowledge, I do not believe we have a single example of 442 in operation today. I believe the one and only example we had up until relatively recent years was a PRRE series, question mark, at the Strasburg Railroad. It's owned by the Pennsylvania Railroad Museum, and unfortunately it is no longer operated. So I believe that was the last time an Atlantic operated in the United States. Full-size Atlantic, I'm not talking live steam and whatnot. So that'd be pretty cool. Very odd sight indeed. To my knowledge, there's not a whole lot of 442s, like big 442 mainline locomotives in operation in the UK either. So it'll be a very neat sight to see. Now, hopefully the Bluebell Railway gets the opportunity to take it out and stretch its legs instead of having one of these big express locomotives stuck on a 25-mile-an-hour basis. Kind of cool to see one of these at full tilt. Anyway, let's run it. That was entertaining. So inside the cab, we lose all the external sounds. Bit odd, but you know, oh well. Sure, our track is set. Cool. Sounds, I believe, are identical to the K models and the Baltics, which they're made by Steam Sound Supreme, I believe. They're good sounds, don't get me wrong, but they are identical, so nothing really fancy. I love the passing signal. It sounds very entertaining. Matter of fact, the cab setup is pretty much identical. In the Baltic, this is your brake. In the K class, this is your brake, and you have a small ejector. In the H class, this is your brake, and you don't have a small ejector. This is not functional. Why that is, I have no idea. The doors to the tenders open on this model. Control R gives us an auto fireman. Hold the E key for your reverser brake. let's see. Driver's injector, sander, fireman's injector, blower, of course our throttle, whistle, firebox dampers. Cylinder cock should be over here on the side somewhere, or so I thought. Control 1 through 6 for your headlights. Pretty common. Now I will say I do find it kind of odd. I have gone over the Baltics, I've gone over the K-Class, and there's a really odd difference between the three. Cab-wise is pretty much identical. Sound-wise, for the most part, is identical. But what you can fiddle with is not, which I don't quite get. Well, you get the tender doors on this one, but you don't on the K or the Baltic. You get this thing on the Baltic, but you don't get on the K or the H. It's weird little things like that that I personally don't quite understand. I do not believe it has functioning valve gear. I don't see it. But it is an Atlantic, so let's get it up on a nice run. Even though it does say 20 mile an hour, don't care. Pretty characteristically of most Atlantic types, this thing accelerates really nicely. That's a pretty common characteristic of the Atlantic design. They tend to pick up and run pretty quick. Is this still 20 mile an hour? No, it's 40 now. Cool. I don't want to come slamming into a corner in a second. Things that should move do look pretty darn good. Nice and smooth. Exhaust doesn't look half bad. Definitely not my favorite, but it's not bad either. We're on the Welsh Marches route, so speed limits don't really show up on the HUD. Speed limit changes, I should say. Kind of irritating, but oh well. I also don't understand where the increase decrease injectors are, because they're very clearly not visible or functioning. It's a little bit irritating, but oh well. Here we are coming up on 60. So as you can see, if you run it right, you can definitely get it up and run. Nice sprint. And obviously the auto fireman doesn't take care of your water very well. So let's go ahead and start bringing it to a stop. Boy, we don't slow down too quick. Oh, of course, we'll end up stopping right here underneath the freaking... Oh, that's kind of cool. It doesn't quite have the advanced Steam scripting that a lot of their newer models have, unfortunately, which does show, but not too bad. But anywho, that is the, oh goodness, that is the LB&SCR, goodness. That is the LB&SCR H-Class from Caledonia Works. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely go check it out. It is available on their website. As always, link in the description, and I will see you next time.